This is Spoken by Elswith, a Femdom Hypnosis podcast, Season 4. Good morning, my dear. It is morning. This is the freshest episode on the podcast because my weekend didn't allow for work, just pleasure. But we're going to talk more about pleasure in episode 19. Today's episode is about experiencing hypnosis and some insider talk. Yeah, I know. Some of you are like, isn't that what we've been doing all along here, mistress? It is, but I do want to give you some inside bits to mull over for your Monday. But I have a task for you first. I want you to stop playing this episode. Go find the song Power of Love by Gabrielle Aplin. I might be saying that wrong. A-P-L-I-N. Throw some headphones on and play it through at least once. For whatever reason, Spotify decided this song should follow Big Bad Wolf, and it's made my morning. Who doesn't want some undying, death-defying love? So go on, I'll wait. Power of Love by Gabrielle Aplin. Welcome back to episode 16. So, how do you experience hypnosis? First off, my task is to remember that people are not boxes or checklists or categories. This is where Patreon and email come into play for me. My very early followers from back in 2020 spent endless conversations with me going over what works, what doesn't, and how they experience hypnosis at a distance. Prior to that time, my experience had all been in everyday life. But I'm sure y'all remember what happened in 2020, right? Right. So, online Femdom Hypno became my research project of sorts. And wow, what willing fellow researchers I've always had on hand. I am not kidding when I say that you are my muse. You are. I fucking love Femdom. It's not just for, the practical perks and the sexual satisfaction perks, but for that never-ending thrill of being outside of the box. Meeting a genuinely submissive man, not a doormat. We're not talking about a beaten down by life kind of man. We're talking about the man who has a lot to offer and finds his happiness in giving it. Open, willing, trainable. Now, with erotic hypnosis, I've got a person saying, yes, please get inside of my head. And who wouldn't love everything about that? Even better, I have you telling me exactly how to get inside of your head. Now, it's no secret that my version of Femdom Hypno has a lot of variation. Just like my fetishes, I don't have a top 3 list. I have a today is Monday and it's a bit cloudy. So I want this kind of swing, you know? But there are a few constants because there needs to be. I like descriptive details. These include things like sights, clean, dirty, dark, bright, crowded, alone. Sounds, usually easily imagined. This is an auditory experience, so I also like, especially this season, playing more with sounds. And scents. Scents, of course, it can define the scene, what are the cliches? The salt air for the beach and pine. The evergreen forest smell. It's like going through a Yankee Candle shop, right? I use those. I like those. Scent is very important. I tend to almost always wear the same perfume. I've branched out a little bit. Thank you to those who have used my wish list for that. But for the most part, I wear the same perfume all the time. That is one of my scents. And then, of course, you have, taste. Talking about the taste of my lip gloss or salt on the skin, it can make those kisses and licks and nibbles way more realistic. Now, it may surprise you that these senses can be experienced in different ways. I might describe a sight and you don't see it, but you do feel the essence of it around you. Perhaps the scene described is a person bound to a three-legged stool in the middle of a large room. The ceilings are high. The other people are pushed back against the walls, watching silently. And the only light comes from the candles that they're holding. Okay, this is starting to sound a little bit sinister. But for some, they can see that visualization and even place themselves on the stool, or perhaps be one of the watchers along the walls. For others, it's more of what it feels like to be in that place. They don't see it, but they do experience the feeling of being there. It is possible to have aphantasia and still experience hypnosis. Aphantasia, it's like when your imagination is, blind. You may see my description as a collection of words or actions or concepts. Like, instead of the trees in our evergreen forest earlier, you might just remember what a forest is. Trees, bark, pine needles, the scent, like a collection of this makes up a forest. So, for me, hitting on as many senses as possible without it feeling like a boring writing exercise, it heightens the hypnosis experience. Now, I want you to clear your mind as much as you're able before I go on. So let's go ahead. We're going to take 3 deep breaths together. Breathe in and out. In, out, in, out. to breathe. Now imagine this. The struggle makes you sweaty. The struggle makes you sweaty. How many senses did you pull into play with that little one-sentence daydream? Well done. There's also the power of suggestion, both direct and inferential. If I simply said, "You're getting sleepy, you feel aroused," you pull down your trousers and start masturbating furiously, and now you orgasm. You feel like the most submissive man in the world. You will be my loyal subject forever. You send me $100. You feel happy. Can you imagine? Oh, wait. If for some nutty reason that little direct-to-hypno exercise worked on you, you have my apologies if you managed to come all over your work desk. You're a clever one. If I simply tell you that you begin to feel pleasure and more aroused, your first reaction might be, "Why?" And, "No, I'm not." It's a bit of a dance. Now, a nice lead-in and talking to you about my fingertips, trailing down your body, making small swirls on your skin as I get closer to my goal. And then say, I want you to think of the feeling of a Hitachi magic wand or a small bullet vibrator, those deep rumbling vibrations. And now I want you to feel it wherever my finger touches you. Starting at your shoulder, down over your chest, tracing around and over a nipple, down over your stomach. Know that as I tip my head back to talk to you, looking up at you, whispering to you, that I'm inviting you to kiss me, whispering, inviting, even as that vibrating finger continues lower and connects with the tip of your cock. See? Stitching together sensation, it works. And I know this because of your feedback. So thank you again for being my muse. And you can thank me for that erection you have. So, your task for today is to go back and listen to Power of Love again. And your permissive circumstance is yes, but only while listening to that song. So you can set it to repeat for the next hour and to have the best time of your life. But it only counts for today. Coming up soon, episode 17 is going to introduce you to more sensation play as I introduce a new rebuke to our repertoire of triggers. There will be a full-length session on the podcast that day as well. Firmer, sterner rebukes are going to be offered on the website. These triggers will be woven into other sessions. As always, the session description tells you what to have on hand in your mind. But everyone should at least have the basic one down, the one that will be on the podcast. If you want an easy way to just download it, you can go to the website to do so. We can't have you getting away with naughtiness, right? Right.